everybody, it's Kallaxin here, and today we are talking about everybody's favorite character, Oscar. So I just wanted to talk about Oscar's fate for a second, but before we get started, remember that you guys should join a Discord server or become patrons over on Patreon if you enjoyed this video. So I wanted to talk about Oscar. Is Oscar gonna get kidnapped by Lionheart?
No.
Of all fucking people.
No, here's the thing.
Okay.
Lionheart was...
A pussy?
I mean, yes,
Get it,
but
'cause
also...
he's a cat?
Oh, You're so fucking proud of yourself, aren't you? No, he was kind of getting his ass. Like, he wasn't very good on his feet, you know? What with the fighting and the whatnot.
Well, he's old, right?
Yeah, he's
Oscar
old.
is young and
He's
spry
young and virile and...
fertile.
Fertile?
I don't know. Sorry, I shouldn't have
Is he
said
going
that.
to be impregnated?
Maybe.
Is that going to happen? Will Oscar be our first transgender character? Turns out he had a uterus the whole time.
More on that at 11.
More of that 11. Okay.
Anyways. What were we talking about
I have
again?
no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Sorry. So, Oscar being kidnapped. So, I think it's a possibility, but not by Lionheart. If that makes sense. I think that Nora and Ren are gonna lose to Hazel, okay? And then Hazel's gonna come up and just grab him. Like, just hold him around the waist like he's carrying...
Gotcha, bitch!
You know what I mean? How do you explain that to them? Because they can't see me.
By the waist?
Like,
or
if
no,
he's
just
being
pinch...
held by the waist, and then one half of Ozpin's over, like, one half of my arm, and then the other's on the other side. You know what I mean?
just, like, holding
Like-
him
like
in a
a-
loop in his arm?
Yeah, like, basically like carrying a bag of luggage. Like, you know how you hold a handle? Basically the exact same thing, but then it's just Oscar's in there. You know? That was probably not a great, interpretation of what I said. But you all know what I mean. Like, basically like a fireman's carry, but then in your arm. But yeah, I could see that too. So I think Hazel is gonna be the one to pick Oscar up and he'll get kidnapped.
I'm not against the idea, I suppose, now that I think about it, because it would definitely shake it up that they no longer have, like, this...
Ozpin?
Yeah, they no longer have Ozpin to guide them.
I mean, they didn't for Volume 4.
Yeah, but
But now it's different.
Now they have a lot more guidance from him. Like, they have to figure another guy. Like,
Yeah. And, like, I don't want Oscar to die.
and then what if that's, like, what if that ties into Emerald's, like, redemption arc, where they're just like, Emerald, you can be better, and it's Ozpin talking to Emerald?
Oh.
Because
be
Emerald's
really
the one,
nice.
like, looking after her?
Now,
I would like
should
that.
he get kidnapped? I say yes.
I'm not against it.
I would like Hazel to do it, and I would like Hazel to be watching him from now on.
I would like Lionheart to totally screw the pooch, possibly dying in the process.
Yeah. Because I think Hazel... Here's what I think. Okay, so Lionheart would almost best Ozpin for a minute, because Oscar's aura is broken, right?
Yeah.
And so, basically, Hazel just throws Lionheart out of the way. Lionheart's dead. And then Oscar would be like, why did you save me? And he's like, you're no good to us if you're dead. No one has to die today. Especially not you. Because you won't die, you little bitch. And so then he takes him home.
Hypothetically, we could, like, lock you in a cage and get you good for 15 years. Granted, you don't try to kill yourself.
Yeah. I mean...
So, like, Suicide Watch for 15 years is pretty good in their states. Because
Yeah.
then they can make sure there's
And
none
so,
other
it
Ozpin running
doesn't
around.
sound like... Okay, so they should know by now that he can reincarnate.
Yeah.
But that means that Salem must have a way to kill him, right? Like, if they want him so bad.
Maybe.
Like, if Lionheart thinks that kidnapping Oscar will make Salem happy, like, what would that do other than have him locked up?
I think
Because they can't kill him.
I think it would just have him locked up. But if you lock him up, like I said before, you can just make sure that he doesn't
But then
die.
we can argue that, okay, well, fuck Lionheart. He doesn't know what she wants, right? He just assumes that she would like that.
Also, like, here's the thing, though. So remember back when they made the big deal of Salem was like, did you kill Ozpin?
Mm-hmm.
And then Cinder was like, yes, I did, and everyone thought she was lying.
Yeah.
Do you think Salem knows that? Because I'm starting to suspect that maybe he doesn't, that maybe Lionheart hadn't told them that.
But if they've spent 1,000 years trying to kill each other, then she must know.
I guess that's also true.
Unless he just has a 1,000-year natural lifespan, right?
Unless he's like,
I think that she asked that because maybe Cinder had something that could have actually permanently done him in, and she wasn't able to use it correctly.
Possibly the
or
mating
just
powers,
because they needed to know if he was in a new vessel, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't really know that yet. I think that's too early to say. I'm pretty sure that Salem probably either has a permanent way to kill him or just wants him out of the way if she does indeed want him kidnapped.
Honestly, I think the locking up method would be pretty useful.
Somebody had the idea that Ruby may be like My Hero Academia, how Deku is talking from the future where he's become a great hero, and that we're seeing the past.
That's what happens in My Hero Academia?
Yeah, remember he said at the beginning that this is the story of how I became a great hero?
Oh, I do not recall that.
Hunter's hiccuping, and I'm like, ready? No.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Where's the bucket?
so people are saying that that may be the same thing, because remember Salem and Ozpin are talking at the beginning of Volume 1. Right?
Right.
And
yeah.
so everything we'd be seeing would be from Salem's point of view and then from Ozpin's point of view. So like basically we're seeing what's really happening, but I think the idea is that they are recreating almost what they saw. And so that's how you would explain.
And at the end of the day, it turns out that all the Ruby people are just like finger puppets.
You understand what I mean? Is that they're not like, because people would be like, well, how can they see what's Adam's doing then? Like, it more would be a correct imagining of what was happening, if that makes sense. I don't think that that's the case, if I'm honest, just because, again, that Adam stuff doesn't make sense, and also, how are you gonna perfectly, because when you have another character telling you a story, the truthful interpretation of that character is going to be skewed, if that makes sense. Like, if I'm telling my mom how Hunter is as a person, and then she gets all her ideas on how Hunter is by me, instead of actually talking to him herself, like, that's not an objective view. That's, like, there's obviously going to be a bias there. And so if Ozpin and Salem are explaining their sides of the story, so to speak, that would be kind of messy. But that's okay. Because that would make sense, though, if Ozpin was in the cage because he got kidnapped and that's where they're talking. Don't you think? Slightly, yeah. Yeah, and so that would be a nice way to tie in that idea that I heard about. And so, there you go. But I think that I'm like 60% for him not getting kidnapped and 40% for him, yes, getting kidnapped. I think him being kidnapped would be great.
Switch up the status quo again, which I feel Ruby's at its strongest, and it's been its strongest since Volume 3, since they've switched up the status quo with the show. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that
yeah, no, you're a rapper,
Jesus
Hunter.
Christ.
Congratulations.
That scared me for a second.
Why?
Anyways, I don't know.
Because you rhymed?
Yes.
But you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
Is that, I don't know, it's unclear, but I don't think they're going to get rid of him yet. I think if he kidnaps, he's not going to die.
Oh, no, I think Ozpin's going to die again.
So it's mostly, it's like we're in between, like, casual kidnapping and him just being okay. But I don't think Lionheart will do it. I think that it would be Hazel. And also, we need to discuss why Hazel is fighting Ren and Nora. Like, I guess they're the only ones left over, but don't you wonder if there's something more to that sometimes?
Does that really need to be its own video?
No,
okay,
it's not its own video. I was just wondering. If any of you guys have ideas for that, go ahead. Process of elimination, yeah.
It was like, who do we care least about on the villains team? And I think for a lot of people, that's Hazel.
Yeah.
It's like, who do we care less about
But
on
if you
the
guys have
hero
ideas
team?
for that, go ahead and let us know.
Nora and Ren.
But yeah, I just wanted to talk about Oscar's fate and that he's gonna get his ass kicked and, like, what else can you do? Or I don't think he's gonna get his ass kicked. I shouldn't say that. I think, again, there's like a 40-60 chance of getting kidnapped. Right?
And I mean, really.
And
who could ask for more?
In terms of his fate from that point, though, he's gonna be alive, I think. Well, he can't die, so either way, he's gonna be alive, just in someone else, right? And so, yeah, I think how that would affect the other characters it would be most interesting. I guess this didn't, like, not that this didn't really need to be a video, but this is less about his fate because he's not close to death and more about whether or not he'll be removed from everyone else, I suppose. But we are going to do some other videos about other characters' fate this week, and so we'll get to that soon.
Including, you know, one particular character
yeah.
who's caused quite a stir.
Okay, so we'll get to that, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you later. Bye, guys. Also, I forgot to say this, but remember, guys, that if you want to talk to us about the new episode, you guys can join our Discord server, become patrons on Patreon, and every week we do a weekly episode talk where we'll talk about the episode. That was a little bit of a convoluted way to say that, sorry. But yeah.
Episode talk where we'll talk about entirely different topics.
One day, but not this time. But yeah, so I hope that, again, you guys enjoyed the video.
The creation of the Czech Republic in the post-Soviet vacuum of Eastern Europe.
Thanks, Hunter.
Possibly.
Thanks. Anyways, yeah, Discord, Patreon, you guys know the drill by now, but I like to remind you anyway. So we will see you later. Bye, guys!